Welcome back. We are officially in part 3 of our SaaS Business Roadmap 2026 Explainer series. And today, we're tackling what is arguably the most exciting phase of the whole journey, building and launching your product. Now, if you were with us for part 2, you'll remember we had that massive debate over whether a value-based or a cost-plus pricing model makes the most sense for your new software. Well, we've established the numbers, we've validated the market, and now that the math is settled, it's finally time to turn those ideas into actual functioning code. Okay, let's dive right into this. We spent all that time validating our idea and finalizing those pricing tiers, but the reality is, a killer pricing strategy doesn't mean a thing if you don't actually have a product to sell, right? And honestly, a lot of founders get stuck in major analysis paralysis right at this exact stage. But today, we're transitioning straight out of that theoretical pricing discussion and into the hands-on reality of actually constructing your software. The landscape of building a SaaS has fundamentally shifted, and what used to take a massive engineering team can now be achieved in a fraction of the time. Section 1, the 2026 build timeline and the AI speed boost. So if you're wondering how long it actually takes to build a product in today's landscape, you really need to recalibrate your expectations entirely. The old rules, they simply do not apply anymore. We are talking weeks, not years, not even multiple quarters, literally just weeks. Thanks to the sheer power of modern AI development tools, a simple minimum viable product, your MVP, can go from absolute zero to a live, functioning product in a matter of weeks. Developers are leveraging AI to auto-generate boilerplate code, instantly debug complex errors, and deploy infrastructure with incredible speed. If you're building a relatively straightforward utility app, your time to market has been drastically compressed. You can get your product into the hands of paying customers faster than at literally any other time in software history. But let's pivot for a second and ask the critical question, what happens when you need to construct something far more robust? Because let's be real, not every SaaS is a simple, single-function utility. Sometimes you're targeting major corporate clients in the United States, and to capture that top-tier revenue, you need deep, complex enterprise features that go way beyond a basic MVP. If you are building something of that magnitude, your timeline naturally stretches out a bit, but it's still incredibly efficient. Realistically, an advanced product packed with deep AI integrations and enterprise-grade features typically takes about 3 to 6 months to build. Month 1 is dedicated to heavy architectural planning. Month 2 is where the core development heavy lifting happens. By month 3, you usually hit that MVP stage internally. Then, month 4 is dedicated entirely to complex AI integrations, really making the software genuinely smart. Month 5 brings in those absolutely crucial enterprise features, things like advanced security protocols and complex user permissions. And finally, month 6 is your full public launch. It's a longer road, for sure, but it is absolutely essential for those higher-tier markets. Section 2, the hidden platform risk. Now, here's the undeniably harsh truth about 2026. When AI allows you to build incredibly fast, you've got to remember, it allows the massive tech giants to build even faster. Seriously, pause and ask yourself this. What happens when the AI provider you rely on launches your exact feature for free? This is our big pattern interrupt today, and it is a major reality check. If you take away anything from this entire explainer, please let it be this terrifying prospect. This is the single biggest risk in the current market, and it could destroy a vulnerable software business literally overnight. Imagine waking up, checking the news, and seeing that the foundational AI company just made your entire business model a free native feature. This extreme vulnerability stems from being what the industry calls a thin AI wrapper. Let me define this clearly for you so you can steer well clear of it. A thin AI wrapper is software that only adds a minimal user interface, essentially just a nice, clean dashboard, over an existing AI model without adding any unique core value of its own. If your software merely passes a user's text prompt to another company's AI and then just displays the result, you are a thin wrapper. You are entirely reliant on that other company to do all the heavy lifting, which means you're completely at the mercy of their platform. You have absolutely zero leverage. And listen, we know this isn't just some theoretical doom and gloom scenario, because it has already happened repeatedly. We've already seen underlying AI providers update their base models and launch exact features for free, instantly wiping out dozens of companies that were built merely as thin layers on top of them. The market simply does not forgive thin wrappers. If your only competitive advantage is an API key to someone else's intelligence, your days are numbered. Section 3, building a defensible moat. So the crucial point is, how do we actually survive? Well, we've got to actively build walls around the business. We really have to contrast the extreme fragility of a wrapper against the absolute necessity of a true business moat. Think about it. A wrapper can be replicated by a decent developer in a single weekend. A defensible moat, however, guarantees your survival and drives up your long-term valuation. It means that even if the underlying AI model gets a massive update, your customers still desperately need your specific software. Based on our source data, there are exactly 3 actionable steps required to build this defensible moat in 2026. Step 1 is securing proprietary data. Step 2 is achieving deep workflow integration. And Step 3 is mastering vertical specialization. Let's break these down one by one, because this right here is your blueprint for a lasting SaaS. And this brilliantly illustrates the absolute foundation of your survival: proprietary data. If your software gathers, generates, or organizes data that is completely unique to your users, data that the foundational AI models do not have access to in their public training sets, then the AI provider cannot simply replicate your exact value. Your unique data becomes your ultimate shield. You're providing insights based on private, protected information that the massive tech giants simply cannot scrape from the public web. Beyond just hoarding data, you've got to embed your software into the very fabric of your user's day. That means deeply integrating into their daily tasks. If your software connects directly to their internal databases, their email clients, and their daily operational checklists, ripping your software out becomes a massive headache for them. Furthermore, you need to solve specific niche industry problems. This is vertical specialization in action. Don't build a generic AI writing tool. Build an AI tool specifically optimized for, say, United States real estate contract generation. By speaking their specific language and integrating into their specific daily workflow, you become completely irreplaceable. Your software becomes incredibly sticky. Now, building a resilient, defensible product is an amazing achievement, but it's really only part of the journey. Coming up in Part 4, the final part of our Explainer series, we're taking this newly built product and covering exactly how to grow from your first initial customers to generating real, sustainable revenue. We're going to map out the exact steps you need to take after you finish watching this series to start seeing real cash flow. But until then, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Look closely at your current roadmap and be totally honest with yourself. Are you building a defensible business or just a temporary wrapper? Think deeply about your proprietary data. Analyze your workflow integrations. Challenge your current building strategy. Fortify that moat, and I'll see you in Part 4 to talk about securing those revenue streams.